Hi, this is cartoonist Dan Letha, and I have something I want to say about how people use my cartoons and other memes and such that are posted online on social media platforms. But I don't want to make an accusation outright. I want to examine the issue, and then I want to ask a question. There's some things I want to know because I'm open to there being a legitimate reason for some of this happening, and I just don't know what it is. So here we go. I'm gonna say, hey, I've produced cartoons in Christian ministry for what, around 25 or so years, and again, I've seen a lot of people use my cartoons, and I am thankful that people want to share and use them and share them with others, and hopefully the message of the gospel and biblical apologetic ministry content gets out there, and people are challenged. But let's take a walk through my history here just a little bit. um, o- o- Back in 1997, I started working for Answers in Genesis full time, and I worked there until 2019. And in that amount of time, I made a lot of cartoons, and they used to post them a lot on social media. And this is just a screenshot. If I had to scroll back about 3 years on the Facebook page for Answers in Genesis to find this, but this isn't edited. They used to post those cartoons all the time, and they got a lot of traffic and a lot of eyeballs on them and stuff. So they used to use them a lot. All right. Well, now I am working for a ministry that I love called Reasons for Hope. And my new cartoon feature here that I do once a week, or I try to do them once a week anyway, is called Truth Jabs. And it's an editorial cartoon with a Christian worldview, and it's done once a week. And so we're trying to grow that particular part of the Reasons for Hope ministry, my cartoons, online. And then on my off hours on the weekends, or when I'm not working for Reasons for Hope, once a month I do another cartoon feature for my good friend Dr. Jason Lyle for the Biblical Science Institute, and this one's called Ready to Reason. And so there's another cartoon feature that I'm involved in that I want to see grow an audience. So for both these ministries, Reason for Hope and Biblical Science Institute, I want to see them both benefit from these cartoons that, hey, they're made to share online and to gain an audience. Okay, there's a certain way that this is supposed to work. Okay, so out of all these ministries that have used my cartoons, I want to focus on Reasons for Hope. So this is the Reasons for Hope Facebook page, and an example of a couple of my cartoons are on there right now. So this cartoon here has generated some things, and so the stats on the cartoons are very, very important. To me personally, I love to see the responses that people, if they're reaching people, if they're hitting home, if they're making a difference, if they're succeeding or failing or whatever it's doing. You get an indication of that down with the likes, and then the comments, and then the shares. And so again, the likes give you kind of a barometer, or a way of indicating that people are liking this one. They're, it's an approval type of thing. So that's very much appreciated. In the years past at Answers in Genesis, I would do cartoons. This was before social media, for the speakers and such, and they would go out on the road, and I would never hear anything. At least in this way, I get to see something of what the cartoon is generating as far as a response. Okay, and then sometimes people make a response. Now on this particular cartoon, at least when I made this screenshot, there were no comments, so I don't know what people are thinking beyond the few likes that I got there for that one. And then there's some shares. 48 is indicated on this bar right here. So again, as a ministry, those numbers are important to the person that made the file. That's also important because I get to see what it's doing. All right, so it's supposed to work like something like this. And if someone out there knows more than I do, correct me. I'm happy to know more information about this. But say Reasons for Hope puts out one of my cartoons. They post it on Facebook or Instagram or wherever it's going to go. Okay, so this is the cartoon, and then people see it and they share it. Okay, so that's the way that it's supposed to be. You hit the little share button, and then you can make a comment with it, and then it takes the cartoon from the Reasons for Hope page, again, whatever platform you're using, and it puts it on your page, but it's linked back to the Reasons for Hope page. And then hopefully someone else will share it, and on and on and on it goes. And so that pyramid, in a sense, all, as far as it'll go, goes back to Reasons for Hope. And so that connection, it matters. Okay, the shares matter. It helps our outreach. It tells Facebook, or again whatever platform, that this ministry is has got numbers and eyeballs, and so the algorithm takes a look at us and likes us because we're generating a lot of activity, and and so we can have an effective outreach as a ministry, and we can kind of gauge it, and we can see that we're growing because all those cartoons are connected through the sharing process. Again, that's how it's supposed to work, all right? But here's the rub. Here's the problem that I've seen. And again, I have to assume that whoever's doing this is, there's not ill intent here. I think sometimes the attitude for things that are online is like, oh, it's just online. I'm going to take it. I'm going to use it, and it's free stuff online, and I can do anything I want with it. That seems to be what's happening. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. But so what happens here is Reasons for Hope, say, posts a cartoon on Facebook, or again, wherever it is. And again, a well meaning brother or sister in Christ comes along, and they see this cartoon and they think, ooh, I like that cartoon. And instead of sharing, they, for whatever the reason, take the cartoon, they copy it to their hard drive. So it's no longer connected to Reasons for Hope or whatever ministry you're doing this with. And then you're reposting it, or you're posting something that's already been posted by somebody else. You don't own the cartoon, you don't have any rights to it, but you liked it, and so you want it for your page. And so you take the cartoon, you post it on your page, and then it starts getting some views and some shares from your page. And then on and on it goes there. But the links don't go back to where it came from. Reasons for Hope and other places that I've worked for or do work for, they spend money paying me to produce these cartoons. It's part of my job. It's not just this. Forgive me if I'm, I don't want to treat you as stupid, but again, it's a little frustrating because they pay money for me to produce these things, and then other people are. It looks like you're stealing it. You're taking it from our page, our website, our wherever it is, and you're claiming it as your own. You're cutting it from the owner of it, and then you're posting it like you own it, and then you're getting all the benefit from it. Now, as I say that, at the same time, that cartoon's still going out. It's got our website on it, and so there is some exposure. Maybe that's the thought. You're thinking, well, it still gets views, and it's the message is going out. I appreciate that. Thank you for sharing it that way. But what I'm saying is, why? Why are you taking it and posting it to your own page and not sharing? There's a difference, because Reasons for Hope, or again whatever ministry, doesn't benefit like it would if it went back to Reasons for Hope. You're cutting it off. This particular now the other cartoons that, or this particular cartoon, the one that Reasons for Hope shared, they're still getting the benefits and the connections and the shares and all that stuff from it. But this particular one that you've taken from your and put on your page, and it's going out there, it doesn't go back to Reasons for Hope. So we don't get the comments, we don't get the shares numbers, we don't get the likes and all of that, and so that changes the numbers, the results that we get. We don't get those anymore. You do. So my invitation is, Why? Let me please clarify. Is there a legitimate reason for that? Is there a purpose? Why? What's the purpose that you're taking those cartoons and doing that? I've seen people do that with Answers in Genesis. I've seen people do that with my Reasons for Hope cartoons. I haven't seen that yet with the Biblical Science Institute feature, but I would imagine, I don't know why people wouldn't do that there too. So it, it's not just my cartoons; it's other people's photos and things too. Why do that? Please let me know. From my perspective, it seems not right, and it damages, it takes away from the outreach for Reasons for Hope, the Biblical Science Institute, and Answers in Genesis too. So my plea is to stop, think about what you're doing, think about, okay, I need to share this instead of reposting it, and I want the ministries that actually funded these cartoons and images to benefit from them in the way that they wanted to, than they intended to in the first place. So again, put in the messages below, comment what's the reason for that, for not sharing and reposting it. So I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. Well, it kind of is a complaint, but I'm looking for an answer too. So thanks for listening to me, and please check out the cartoons and illustrations and of all these ministries. And thanks for listening.